to finish up on Seager, I keep getting a lot of questions about my Twitter comments that I think Seager's departure is a foregone conclusion. I think there's zero chance that he's back. And a lot of folks are asking things like, how can they replace 35 to 40 homers and 100 RBIs? Well, how about with 50 to 60 extra points in on-base percentage, better defense, and trends that are up, not down? Seager has a lot of folks fooled right now. He's been swinging for the downs all year. And when you bat in the 3 to 4 spots all the time, you're going to, drive in a lot of runs. Even on a bad team, you're going to drive in 100 runs. And you're going to hit more homers than you ever have. Seager's uptick in home run numbers is not a sign of things to come. It's a sign that he's selling out for power. And there's tons of evidence that that's exactly what he's done this year. Career high K rate at 24%. Only the second time in his career he's even been to 20%. Career high in swinging strike rate at 13.9%, more than 5% higher than his career mark. Career lows in average and OBP by significant margins. Yet, despite the career high in home runs, his slugging percentage is just his third best of his career, and it's only 1 point over his 2014 season and only 4 points over his 2014 season. This is far from some kind of a special season for Seager. His OBP, even after going 1 for 2 with 3 walks on Wednesday, is 290, 132nd among qualified hitters. If I would have included hitters that are 50 plate appearances short of qualifying right now, Kyle Seager would have been 155th. And again, I hate OPS, but if you're a psycho OPS lover, Seager's 745 OPS ranks 99th among qualified hitters. And remember, in OPS, it's OBP plus slugging. And if you're all over the home run thing with Kyle Seager, that's slugging percentage. It should be reflected, and is, in his slugging percentage. And he's still 99th. His WRC plus of 104 ranks 98th. Kyle Seager is not particularly good. Is he bad? Of course he's not bad. But he has the flashy stats. But every single metric available tells us he absolutely is declining. You want to talk defense? Cool, let's do that. He will, again, make those flashy plays. He's great at that. But about half the metrics out there kind of like him, and then the other half hate him. And the trends in all of them are down. All of them, even the ones that kind of like him right now, the trends are down defensively. He's -4 defensive runs saved this season, and he was -3 in 60 games last season. He excels so far this year in outs above average. But if you compare it to the last full season, he's about half as good. There's nothing special. And at 34 and counting, the decline is apparent across the board, offense and defense. Now, if you told me Abraham Toro, who's a better player than Seager, if you told me, hey, he's not part of this equation, well, then you have your open spot to keep Seager and add Marcus Semien. But you don't need to give Seager $15 million when you could just slide Toro, who at worst is equally as good as Seager overall. He's not going to have the gaudy power numbers, but he's at least equally as good. By all measures, offense and defense. You slide him to third and make Semien your second baseman, you're better. You're better in a lot of ways because Toro is actually better than Seager. And two, you didn't have to spend $15 million on Toro. And then you have the room to add that other infielder. And you have the flexibility to keep Toro at second base and adding a third baseman if that's the best way for you to upgrade your offense. If you can pry away a Jose Ramirez, again, we're shooting for the moon here. But bringing back Seager eliminates Semien and eliminates Jose Ramirez. Eliminates Chris Taylor, eliminates any second or third baseman from the equation. This team needs to get better, not stay the same. If Kyle Seager goes to a really good lineup, particularly in the National League, and bats 5th to 7th, maybe he can find a way to recoup some of his hit tool. But he's taken the power first approach this season, and it's destroyed his offensive value. Last year, he hit 9 homers in 60 games, and his slugging percentage was 20 points lower than it is now. But he was still 15% better at the plate. His OBP was 65% higher. 65 points higher. He was at 355 last year. He's at 290 right now. He's closer to an all-or-nothing bat than anything else. It's time to move on. It's time to shoot higher. The acquisition of Toro completely changed my tune on Kyle Seager. Completely changed my tune. Do I think he's worth $15 million in a vacuum? Absolutely he is. An average player is worth $15 million. I think Kyle Seager is an average player. I think he's an average player on decline, so there's some concern there that maybe next year he's below average, but maybe he can hang on and be, a 100 to 110 bat again. It's possible. Probably depends on where he goes, but I think it's very plausible. And is that worth $15 million? It very well could be, and it probably is. I think it is. Is it to the Mariners? No. And it's not really about the money. It's how do we get better? How do we actually get better? I mean, you want to be a 95-win team or better, right? Like, that's the point. The point isn't to be like, an 88 to 92-win team. You don't want to add 4 wins to whatever you are at the end of the season, right? Whatever the roster looks like, you want like 95 wins to be more than plausible. Keeping Kyle Seager doesn't help the Mariners do that.